News with Gina.
The news with Gina Grad.
Well, I am so glad that DFG brought up breakdancing at the Olympics because that is real and it's really happening. According to ESPN, as of today, it is an official Olympic sport. They say that the International Olympic Committee's pursuit of urban events to lure a younger audience saw street dance battles officially added to the medals category. That's going to be 2024, the Paris Games. Also confirmed for Paris are skateboarding, sport climbing, and surfing. So those three sports will make their Olympic debuts at the Tokyo Games, which were postponed because of the pandemic, and that's supposed to be next July. But breakdancing is coming 2024.
Well, I'm going to expand this, which is we keep looking at the sports. We want to make the sports more exciting, more youth-oriented, and all that kind of stuff. And, you know, the events. And I like that. But you still have the old stodgy international judges. Mm-hmm. You know, I don't want some 72-year-old Russian guy with a bad mustache judging breakdancing. Right. I say we get celebrities like it's Dancing with the Stars or So You Think You Can Act or So You Think You Can Sing or While You're Gay or whatever those shows are. You get that panel in there. You know, you get like Julianne Hough. You get Vin Diesel. Nobody knows breakdancing more than Vin Diesel.
Oh, I didn't know that.
You didn't know that?
Curtis Blow can volunteer?
Curtis Blow? Yeah, Google that shit. Vin Diesel? That kid could pop and lock when he had a full head of hair. Right, Max Zapata?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Enthusiastic agreement.
No, Vin Diesel's first off, he's a better breakdancer than he is an actor, if you can believe it.
Okay.
That I can
noted.
Sight unseen.
He's a break dancer, and he knows break dancing, and that's how he came up. Is there footage of him?
Yeah, we're pulling up. He's doing like a little tutorial on in one video where he has a lot of hair and he's break dancing.
You guys think I'm kidding?
Yes,
I am
very
not.
much.
Vin Diesel knows break dancing, and how awesome would it be to have Vin Diesel sitting between those two judges holding up the scorecard? You know what I mean?
Great. Like Chuck Norris at the dodgeball championships.
That's right. That's right. We'll find that footage. But yeah,
I need to see this immediately.
I'm all about it. I like, and by the way, each country would have to have some cool street garb. You couldn't just go with the stupid unitard that said USA on it or something.
No.
You know what I mean?
Oh, no. You gotta have Adidas or some shit.
Yeah, you need the
Harem
hat.
pants.
Yeah, sideways and all that shit. You got to go full 80s. Is this Vin Diesel?
Yeah, so this is he has a breakdancing tutorial video.
Well, obviously you can't come up with a tutorial video unless you've mastered the art.
Very true.
Scramble foot to foot.
Curtis Blow.
Curtis Blow. It's a full head of hair, young spry Vin Diesel, popping and locking. It's on YouTube.
Yeah, so to get into clubs for free, he would do security, and then he would spend his nights off dancing.
See, there you go. See, you guys think you know Vin. All right, you got it.
He also said he was a dancer for the Beastie Boys in the 80s.
What?
See, you guys think you know Vin Diesel. You don't.
You don't know Vin Diesel.
I know Vin Diesel. He would be the perfect judge for this competition.
I don't know if I'm insulting Vin Diesel or complimenting the children of today, but there's plenty of TikTok teenage dancers that are 1,000 times better than what we just
Yeah,
watched.
I was going to say that looked pretty rudimentary, but again, it was an instructional video.
Right.
So perhaps he's
For us
slowing
noobs.
it down for us. Yeah, for us noobs.
Analogy your dad could appreciate, Gina. Bob Cousy couldn't compete in the NBA today. We must judge them by their era. Am I right?
Absolutely.
Johnny
Babe Ruth
Unitas.
never faced a black pitcher.
That's right. That he didn't hate. Johnny Unitas couldn't play in the NFL today, but yet of his time, he was one of the greats.
Okay, that helps.
That's the same with Vin and popping and locking.
Well, I look forward to it. I look forward to him judging real breakdancers and seeing if they pass muster.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of sports, so we talked about Jake Paul and how he knocked out Nate Robinson last week. Well, now the YouTube star's brother, Logan Paul, who we've talked to on the show, has lined up a fight against Floyd Mayweather. The two will fight in a pay-per-view special. The bout is an exhibition, which means it won't count on either fighter's professional record. Logan has a pro record of 0-1, while Floyd has one of 50-0. Floyd doesn't sound like he'll take it easy on this kid either. Back in November, he wrote, quote, "These YouTube girls better find some Barbie dolls to play with because I'm not the one to play kids' games."
Oh, heteronormative.
3 years ago, a fighter from the UFC said my name, and I had to put a muzzle on that expletive. Logan Paul can get the same treatment before I go conquer Japan again. And Logan's 25, 6'2", 200 pounds. Floyd 43, 5'8", 150. And I think that'll be fun for all.
Yeah, well, as we'd previously discussed, it's just we're now living in a sort of freak show nation where it's just we want P.T. Barnum. We want a spectacle. We don't really care about boundaries or rules or the love of the game or the sanctity of the sport or whatever. We just want a freak show, which I think it's that our kind of collectively as a nation, our pleasure centers have been burnt out. So we have to just keep no longer can we have sex in a missionary position and enjoy it. Like you got to be cutting on me and smacking my ass with a rolled up newspaper so I can feel something. I think that's kind of where we're at as a nation.
Yeah.
This would be interesting only because Paul is so much bigger than Floyd is. That would be the only thing that would make this. The only thing that would make this mildly interesting is that he's physically so much bigger
and 20 years younger, if that helps.
I imagine Floyd's in really good shape, though.
I don't know if you've seen him with his shirt off, Brian. Yeah, he has a kind of a slickness and a rhythm and stuff that hasn't seemed to be affected by time. So it'll be interesting. Look, the last time they did it with Conor McGregor, although Conor McGregor's a professional fighter, of course, it was much more competitive than people thought. That, by the way, if you want to gamble like professional gamblers, that was one of those bets where I think Floyd must have been a 6.5 to 1 favorite or something. He was a heavy favorite. I gambled
on that event, yeah, and that was a good day for me.
It was a heavy favorite. Now, real gamblers just go, well, I'll put 10 grand on Floyd and I'll just take home $2,500. And it's still $2,500 more than you had the day before, and there's no way Floyd's going to lose that fight. Now, the amateur gamblers go, oh, I'll bet $500 on McGregor. If I win, I'll get $5 grand, but they never win.
Right.
Better just to take the smaller amount. Yes.
I have the odds on this one. It's according to Forbes, Logan is a 15 to 1 long shot. Mm-hmm. So do with that what you will. And the Floyd McGregor fight, Mayweather got like $350 million. So did anyone really lose that fight? I mean, either way.
No.
They both got paid out.
No.
And there's another one on the way. Evander Holyfield says his team has been in contact with Mike Tyson's camp, and he strongly believes they are very close to inking a deal for a third fight. That's according to TMZ. Evander's 58, Tyson's 54, and I have a clip of Holyfield saying who's in charge when it comes to arranging these fights. This is the reason he would do it.
That's the only guy that I see that the people want. If you're doing the thing, you're doing it for the people. And the purpose is the people. And because it's the people what makes things go around. And, I'm talking just being him. If it wasn't for the people wanting, then I wouldn't be saying nothing to him.
Saying the people make the world go round.
Yeah, I mean, if there's a market for it, why not?
Well, there's now a market for everything, and there's a way to get paid well into your, later in your career. There's the Big Three basketball tournament league that Garagos is a part of with Ice Cube. Right.
Yep.
And these are a bunch of guys who retired from the league 15 years ago, and they're now getting paid. Like there's a sort of senior tournament for everything. I would beg right now that we stop it before we get to porn, because I will be watching a Nina Hartley take it in the ass in 20 minutes if we don't stop this train right now.
Yeah, this is going to have a logical ending, which is not
right.
good.
This is where we need to stop it, because believe me, it will not stop. It'll roll right into porn.
Yeah, it'll be an exhibition scene.
Yeah, I don't want to see Seika break a hip out there. Is Seika still alive?
Seika.
Oh, you don't have to look it up, Max Pat. I'm asking you a question. Is Seika still alive? I know you know.
She's a big star back in the day.
What? I love that. What?
Well, maybe.
Is Seika alive? Yes or no?
Yes, 66.
She's 66? She was...
Oh, wow.
She's got to be older than 66, doesn't she?
Is this
More
Seika?
years.
I think it's Seka. She's
That's her?
International porn star.
Yeah, 66.
Oh, no.
66 years young? Yeah, she could still...
Which one was the
She's known
big
as the
boob
platinum
queen?
princess of porn.
That's a Minka. How dare you?
Oh, Minka.
Who's who?
Who was the big boob queen?
Oh, yeah, Minka.
Present company excluded. Okay.
Minka. Yeah.
She took your crown.
Yeah, she was the greatest.
Minka.
We had her on Loveline. She was fantastic.
I remember.
She was a delight. I would call her a delight. Seika's only 66.
Uh-huh.
I feel like Seika was... I feel like she was starring in porn movies in like 1973.
Pushing the envelope.
Yeah.
Yeah, back then.
You were probably right. I mean, she married Francis Patton in 72, a week after her 18th birthday.
Mm-hmm.
Damn.
Who's Francis Patton, by the way?
I don't know, I'm reading about
Right.
them. And they divorced when she began her pornographic career. Oh, in 77.
Ah, that's when
So,
she began
there
her
you go.
career?
Yeah.
Paxton.
Oh, yeah, Bill. What else we got, Gina Grad?
Well, let's get
Seika's
into-
only 66.
Oh, this is according to her Wikipedia, which has been known to be wrong. But,
Oh, did they fudge that?
but I mean, it looks pretty official.
Well, let's see. I mean, let's do some math. You're
Well,
right.
if she bought 54 and she got married in 72, that would be 18, right?
There you go. Yeah.
All right, I guess.
math over
She's
here.
doing her porn. I feel like she's just been porn for a long time. All right. Anyway, sorry. Let's not have the seniors tour for the porn stars. That's all I'm saying.
Is what you're saying.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's get into some auction and some offloading, some big stuff. So first of all, Colin Kaepernick hasn't played a game in 4 years, but a piece of his memorabilia with his name on it set a new record at auction Friday night, according to Fox News. The jersey Kaepernick wore in the first NFL game he played with the 49ers in 2011 sold for $128,000 at Julian's auction.
Oh, more than Mav's helmet?
But barely. It's the most money on NFL jerseys that's ever sold, according to TMZ Sports. The winning bidder has not been revealed, which seems common lately.
Yeah.
And that's the new one to beat.
I think COVID has freaked out everyone on the sort of novelty spending. You know, I've heard people talking about, I'm looking for a new car. I like the Cadillac, but with the whole COVID, like, I don't like the optics. Like, a lot of people are into optics now, you know, like, you don't want to seem like that person.
Ostentatious.
Yeah, and like there's all these celebrities are getting called out because J-Lo goes on a private jet and Jeter takes a picture of her, and then everyone says, oh, look at her reclining on her private jet while everyone else is waiting in line to get food, you know,
Yeah.
and everyone
And
hates that.
The latest one from this morning is everyone's mad at Cardi B for tweeting, should I get this $88,000 purse? I'm so tempted, because it's Cardi B and Cardi B's little world. And people are like, that's what people make in a year if they're lucky.
Right.
Nice. So that's not cool right now. People aren't into it.
Yeah, so people don't like it. So spending $126,000 on Cap's jersey when people are having trouble keeping their businesses afloat. It's bad optics. So everyone's just kind of like, I'm not going to tell anybody I have money anymore.
Well, on the other side of the spectrum, there are two big classic rock stars that are offloading big chunks of their catalog. And I was wondering if it's because they're thinking, uncertain times, maybe I should just cash in and use the money now. So Bob Dylan, two of your favorites, by the way, Bob Dylan has unloaded his entire songwriting catalog in a deal with Universal Music Publishing for $300 million. The deal covers more than 600 songs, including those in his latest album, Rough and Rowdy Ways. Universal will get 100% of the publishing and now controls each song's copyright. Plus, they will get all the income Dylan would have received as the songwriter. So he said, I'll take the money. Meanwhile, Stevie Nicks did the same thing. She's unloaded 80% of her publishing to publishing and management company Primary Wave. That deal includes both solo and Fleetwood Mac songs like Landslide and Edge of 17 and Dream and all the hits, Dreams. The company has also access to use her name and likeness. And this is just the beginning because she's also partnered with them to sign new songwriters. And they also have other people's estates. They have Ray Charles, Aerosmith bassist Tom Hamilton, who, by the way, that amounts to 15 Aerosmith songs like Sweet Emotion, Janie's Got a Gun. So this is like, I think everybody's looking for security, even the multimillionaires.
Writing songs and publishing those songs and owning that's the gift that keeps giving. Mm-hmm. You think about jobs and you know, everyone always talks about like, how much does this pay or how much does that pay? But it's like when you're a working stiff and you're a roofer, you just get paid $14 an hour and then that's it. There's never like, hey, it rained the other day and your roof worked great, so now you can expect a check. You know, like there's no nickel box money. No, there's no like residual anything or anything. It's just like the lowest form of work is you physically don't get paid unless you're there doing the job. We've all had those jobs. You want to get out of that as fast as you can. The best is I got paid for Lay Lady Lay in 1967, and I'm going to get paid again in 2020. And I got paid all the way through for doing that song in concerts and licensing it to movies and commercials. That's what you want. And then in between is get paid for 2 weeks for Christmas and a week for Thanksgiving and another week for Easter. That's kind of the in-between version of that. But you want to get in, and then there's the hedge fund guys that are just getting paid while they're on vacation or at sleep because the stock portfolio just went. But you want that. I don't think people think, the thing about poor people, and I know them well, it's always about how much you can get paid per hour. That was always the discussion. How much can you make an hour? But at a certain point, even if it's being paid well per hour, you still want to get into that bracket of being paid for something you thought of or invented. And also, you think about the amount of effort. You think about a Bob Dylan song. I don't know a whole lot about his process. But I don't know, ain't going to work on Maggie's farm no more. That couldn't have taken more than 15 minutes. It really couldn't have. I've heard that song. It just couldn't have. And by the way, they always say it. I was on an airplane. I started thinking. I wrote it down on a cocktail napkin, and that song took 5 minutes to write. And it just keep getting paid. Yes, Dawson. Sorry.
Interesting story. I was interviewing Danny O'Keefe, a folk singer from a long time ago. And he said that he was asked by Bob Dylan's people to join his writing label and co-write some songs with Bob. And so the first thing that he got sent by Bob Dylan was one strum of a guitar and the word, well. Right. And that was it. So Danny O'Keefe turned it into a song about groundwater.
And that became the hurricane.
But that was Bob Dylan's contribution. One strum of a chord and, well.
Wow.
And that's it.
Co-writer. And remember, Dolly Parton, everybody asked her, do you get annoyed or does it bother you that Whitney Houston made the song I Will Always Love You famous again and gave it new life? And her answer was, no, because every time I hear that song, all I hear is a cash register. So that was the greatest thing that ever happened, that Whitney Houston made that another hit.
Answer this next question like Seika. Okay.
What does Seika sound?
No one knows what Seika stands. Okay. I would assume that Seika has the same accent as the girls from ABBA.
Oh, okay.
I don't think you could tell the difference between ABBA and Seika.
Okay.
Can you find an ABBA and Seika audio clip?
Let me check.
If you can find Seika singing ABBA, you got yourself a bonus, my friend.
Yeah, Super Trooper.
I don't know if they're all interviewed together. These may have to be separate interviews. I don't know how the internet works.
They could be on a panel.
They could have been on a panel.
Yeah.
Where's Seika from?
Virginia.
What?
Oh, come
She was
on.
like an international superstar to me.
I know.
What's her real name?
Dorothy Hundley.
Oh, come
no.
on,
No.
man.
Ruined everything.
Such a cock blocker. Dorothy?
Yeah.
Dorothy. Dottie.
I thought she was like from the Alps. Oh, man.
Just because she started Swiss Miss, Adam, doesn't make her from the Alps.
Started by blowing the Ricola guy and then made her way to Ron Jeremy. Oh.
Yeah, she adopted the name Seika after a female blackjack dealer that she knew in Vegas.
Oh.
Some very levels of the story,
Get into her Von Trap.
Gina. For God's sake.
Yeah. Well, this is horrible to me. This is really
Devastating.
it is.
It's a dark day.
I thought she was like some kind of international superstar. I had.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, Seika, are you really 66 years young?
Oh, yeah.
Hey, I saw that scene with you and Jamie Gillis you did in 1979. That's,
Yeah.
yeah, that was. I don't know. I don't think that was acting. I think you were into it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Very, very agreeable, that Sega.
quite a temptress, aren't you?
Yeah.
Sorry, your first marriage didn't work out, but that was for all the viewers. That was a gift because you made your way right into the adult movies, right?
Yeah.
So you come from the Swiss Alps, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And I heard, at least Randy West told me this, you actually came down on a sled and burst onto your first porn set that way.
Oh, yeah.
With a hot cup of cocoa in one hand and a vibrator in the other.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Now, I've seen you do a lot of girl scenes,
Yeah. Yeah.
and it seems like you like the girls, but do you
Yeah.
really like them?
Yeah.
Or is that just acting?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I heard your real name was Dorothy, but I called the man a liar and told him to leave the room.
Yeah. Liar. Yeah.
Yeah. And I heard that not only were you raised in the Swiss Alps.
Yeah.
Well, you see that The Grinch Who Stole Christmas movie?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I picture that as like your lair up there, like
Yeah.
your porn lair in the Swiss Alps up there.
Yeah.
Whoville.
Yeah. Yeah. And you
yeah.
did it. I know you did it for the love of the game. It wasn't a paycheck for you.
Oh, yeah.
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 Are you thinking about making a return? I know a lot of folks that wax nostalgic for that. Speaking of waxing, Seika, this has been a real slice. And by the way, thank you for being such an open book as an interview.
Yeah.
I think we've learned things about you that we didn't know before.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a little self-serving, but you're attracted to me. Is there any chance that we might have a future?
Yeah.
It took a little while. All right, there you are, Seika. You've heard all the Seika impressions, but now you've heard the best.
Thank you.
Gina Grad. Let's do one more, Gina.
All right. Well, since so many medical things are
Hold
always
on. Where does Seika live now?
Okay.
She's back in her hometown in the Alps?
or in the Appalachian
And if you tell me
mountains.
like Wisconsin or Nebraska, I'm going to be rip shit at you.
Happily retired.
Yeah.
Yeah, I gotta look this one up. I'll let you know when I find it.
Okay.
While you're doing that, hopefully while you watch Seika, this doesn't happen to you, because one medical expert now claims that COVID-19 could cause erectile dysfunction. With the pandemic crushing the spirits and finances all over the world, one doctor told NBC Network, NBCLX, that the virus also has left some male patients short on their ability to perform sexually. Dr. Dina Grayson says, we now know that people can have long-term effects from this virus, neurological complications. And now for men, there's some real concern here that men could have long-term erectile issues from the virus, because we know it causes issues in vasculature. So, any heart problems, that kind of thing, you'll be dealing with a softie. You might need to get one of those Nike Air pumps.
Yeah, I think the great Larry Flint had one of those installed, those air pumps. And and I said, where's the pump? And he's like, in my sack.
Yeah, in your ball.
I think he said you give it like 3 squeezes and you're in full effect.
But do you know it? Like, do you feel it? Or is it just aesthetic? You know what I mean? Like,
I don't know.
Does he feel? I need to know if Larry Flint felt erect. I need to know.
Gina.
I remember walking out to his limo after interviewing him, and he had a gold wheelchair in the trunk. And maybe he had a Ron Jeremy dildo he gave me. Or maybe Ron gave me that. But yeah, that's about all I know about the. Wait, is Larry Flint alive?
I think he just died, didn't he?
I don't think he's very alive.
This whole COVID thing has screwed me up in the death department.
He is still alive. He's 78.
What?
78.
He's 12 years older than Seika?
What the? What's going on?
I don't know.
This world is confusing.
Yeah.
So add that to the list of symptoms. Everybody be careful out there with those COVID symptoms.
Did they say, is this chronicled, or are we just sort of extrapolating the math with the vascular stuff, or is she seeing patients that are being affected this way?
Unclear, although it might be a little more about just beware of this as a symptom, because she says there's a real concern that men could have long-term issues. Now, we haven't had COVID long enough to know if anyone has long-term issues of anything, but that this is something that you should be aware of on the list, because when it attacks your vasculature system, it could attack your erection.
Might this be a byproduct of being locked up with the same battle axe for 9 months and not getting to see
COVID, babe, but when you get it off?
not getting to see the guma?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's right. She's not in your bubble.
Not in your bubble. You got to get that guma into the bubble. Yeah, this is good enough. Interesting. Oh, Max Spada, we got to take our. We did our poll of would you rather have COVID or herpes. Around here, everyone would rather have COVID than herpes.
Yeah, we did this during the stereo conversation, so we didn't get Brian or Gina's votes.
But I did kind of a Twitter version of this, too, so we should probably start tallying some of that up.
Sure.
Brian, Gina, COVID or herpes?
Wow.
Now,
that was a heavy question to lay on.
Here's here's the deal. All right, we'll do these two caveats.
Because Brian would probably rather have herpes.
Well, some people will go...
Not again.
Not Brian, right. Some people go, I already have herpes, so I'll take herpes. Well, if you already have herpes, then it would rid you of herpes if you took COVID.
Oh.
That's the twist. And pre-existing conditions will carve that out as well. Let's just say everyone is healthy and relatively youngish. Would you take the COVID or the herpes? Everyone here said COVID. And most people online said COVID, which I took as a very good sign. Because he wouldn't do it with AIDS. That's for sure.
Son of a bitch. I think my answer is different than it would be as a young man. A young single man, I would not want herpes, and I would be able to handle COVID probably a lot better as a 25-year-old. In my condition, I think COVID would
No,
be
not in
deadly.
your condition. You were carving that
You
out.
don't have a condition. In hypothetical land, you have no conditions.
Oh, fuck. This is
Yeah.
Well, there's no COVID danger-wise, there's no difference between 42 and 25. As long as you're under 60, it's all pretty much safe zone.
Can the answer be I'd rather have herpes but tell people I have COVID?
That's a good point.
COVID or herpes?
You get more cachet out of COVID. Like, I got COVID.
Yeah.
I was like, whoa, shit.
Yeah, I think
Herpes.
you get more cachet out of saying I have sex with my stepdaughter than saying I have herpes. Like, everything is more cachet than. I don't even know if herpes even carries a cachet anymore.
No, it's a negative cachet.
Yes.
Trust me. Okay, condition completely neutral. I would say I would rather get COVID now. Getting herpes, like at my age as a married man, like that. I don't want to explain how I got that.
Well, take that out. Just COVID or herpes.
Speaking of COVID now, I would rather have COVID in December of 2020 rather than herpes, but I probably would have said herpes in May of 2020.
Right.
So now, probably COVID.
Yeah, probably COVID.
Wow, we're across the board with COVID, which is good. That means it's not as deadly as people
epidemiologically.
It's treatable. The treatment is not pleasant, and the after effects aren't. But herpes is forever, right? Like there's no cure.
Yeah, and I don't even.
Is that with the diamond ring slogan?
Well, there's a couple. There's a couple things. First off, I don't know that the treatment is bad, depending on, and I don't even know if you'll be symptomatic. Like you may just get COVID, be COVID positive and nothing. And I don't even know what the after effects are if you're not symptomatic or you're treated quickly and whatever. So I'd take the COVID. Seika lives in Kansas City, Missouri.
I just saw her social media at Seika 1954, which we've already established here.
Like I said about the chick who said she was black but is really Jewish and sat in front of me at high holidays in synagogue, I promise you I know someone who knows Seika, and I will get back to you on that tomorrow.
Well, please, let's get her on the show. I cannot wait to hear that exotic international accent.
Hey, y'all.
Ugh. Kansas City. Ugh. This has ruined Seika for me. All right, let's bring it home, Gina Grad.
Oh, you got it. I'm Gina Grad, and that's the news.
Gina Grad. That was the news with Gina Grad.